It's a big one, Will.
That's
And I think first and foremost, can we just give a little bit of a congratulations to Mikel Arteta? Is that okay? Are we allowed to do that?
Oh, what's he done?
I think he's done a very good job.
Yeah, you can't be congratulating your rivals like that, Dave.
Well, yeah, but I am a football correspondent who has just given Mikel Arteta a bit of praise. All right.
If Sir Alex Ferguson was in this stream right now and he saw you doing that, he'd look down on you, Dave.
He probably would.
Sorry,
but I think Arsenal have been very, very good. A very tough start to the season, you'd say. Some hard results. They got hammered by City. They've been hammered by Liverpool. But I think overall, Arsenal are on a very good run. They've put in some good displays. The football they're playing is very good. And I think when you look at how they've built the team and what they've done, I just really like the blend of the current setup and what it brings. I'm a big fan of it.
It's almost like if you give manager time, who's, for all intents and purposes, got the skill and the experience that he gained at Manchester City to shine, it's almost like he might come good.
Almost might like him. I think one of the big things with him as well is the recruitment's been quite good in the background of this. Nuno Tavares bought for 7 million is really starting to impress me. And look, he's very raw. He is very, very raw. The amount of shots that he took against Newcastle, 6 shots on goal. That's something that is a gripe for Arsenal fans right now. But I think overall, absolutely fantastic, in terms of his passing, in terms of his driving the ball at his feet. 95 touches of the ball. Only Tomiyasu had more touches. Completed 66 out of his 72 passes at a 92% completion rate. Dribbles, 2 out of 3 completed, 4 crosses into the box, of course, assisted the Saka goal. Look at that heat map, Will, so far in the final third.
Yeah, but they were playing at Newcastle, who were literally parked on their 18-yard line, Dave. So don't get out your pants.
You don't get too giddy. No, I think he's very, very good. And I think with one of the big things for him coming into the club, he had Kieran Tierney to maybe displace. But I think...
what's happened to Tierney?
Tierney was injured at the start of the season and kind of was displaced. And I think when you look at Tavares and you look at Tierney, they are 2 different fullbacks. I think Kieran Tierney's traditional wing back's going to get to the byline and put the ball into the box. Whereas I feel Tavares is a little bit more comfortable at moving inside. I think he's more of that ilk of a João Cancelo than a traditional fullback. And it's really interesting just to see that backline develop. Tomiyasu as well grabbed the assist for the Martinelli goal. Great ball over the top. I think fullback is a big area for Arsenal. The Man United need to really get at.
United.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at some of the Man United stuff. Obviously, the other concern for Arsenal, will Saka play? That's going to be big. He's been so important for their creativity in the final third. So if he's out, that will be big. But in terms of Manchester United, how they'll line up, how they'll set up, we've had a few questions around the globe on Instagram.
What you got,
the first question being, what is your predicted 11 under Rangnick from Alex? Will, what would be your predicted 11?
What, when he's in full charge?
Yes.
I think 4-3-3. I think he'll go. Yeah. If it's a full, I think Shaw comes back in, Maguire, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, then a midfield 3 of. Oh, it's hard, isn't it? Because I don't. Yeah, it's hard. Go on.
I think it's we still don't really know.
Because I was going to say McTominay, Fred, Pogba, but then obviously where's Bruno going to go? Because I think he'll play like Sancho. We've got to play Ronaldo. So Sancho, Ronaldo.
Why does he have to play Ronaldo?
What? So you can see Ronaldo just coming on as like a bench player?
No, I'm just asking you. Why do you think Ronaldo's got to be playing?
Well, he's a world-class player.
But then you're starting Ronaldo based on his name, not on what he could do within the 11.
Isn't he your top goal scorer for the season?
But then at the same time, Man United have been very poor going forward. And that's just my question. It's just a question, Will.
I'm not out, mate.
Don't get your knickers in a twist. Just relax. It's going to be okay.
So those goals don't count then because they're Man United have been
No,
bad.
I just think, look, where does he fit? Let's say if we go 4-4-2 diamond, which I perceive might be the way going forward with Ralph Rangnick. Ronaldo probably has to come in for Marcus Rashford, doesn't he? Can you drop Jadon Sancho right now? 2 goals in 2 games. The Rangnick quotes around Jadon Sancho saying he's one of the best young players in world football.
I think if you could drop Ronaldo, I think that would actually create less problems.
I think that is one thing.
The big Ronaldo being a problem.
I think the other idea with Manchester United is Donny van der Beek's positioning.
Yeah.
Donny van der Beek, Bruno Fernandes, which could help Donny van der Beek getting into the team. In a sense of Donny playing as a number 10 as a second striker. That is so much more suited to Donny than Bruno, I think, with the movement and so forth, with his ability to kind of
Are you leaving out there? So you left Pogba, Greenwood, Rashford out there.
So Pogba's out at the moment. I think Marcus Rashford.
Who's not? So I know you've done an Arsenal 11, sorry, but who's your Ralph Rangnick? What's your dream 11?
My dream 11 for United
right now, with everyone being fit, not Ralph's 11, Statman Dave. And Statman
I think it's a difficult one. Obviously, Rafa Varane comes in. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I'd say Diogo Dalot comes in. That's a no-brainer.
For Wan-Bissaka?
I think Luke Shaw probably comes into the 11.
Wow.
I'd probably play this 3-man midfield as well. I would like to see Marcus Rashford or Jadon Sancho in that number 10 area. Probably throw Cristiano Ronaldo into the team there.
So no Pogba and no Greenwood.
Not at the moment, but I think, long term, the 11 would be that. That would be the long-term 11.
Interesting.
If you can look at it in that sense.
I just think it goes back to what you've said before as well, isn't it? That's why it's such a good appointment for 2.5 years, because hopefully now any player that comes in is coming into a blueprint that is going to be established for 3 years, maybe more, not just like buying Sancho and then, oh shit, where are we going to put him? It feels like there's a plan. And if that is maybe not the top names of Europe coming in and to build this system, I think that's so much more beneficial. And then you just have to work through the guff for the next 6 months, don't you?
Well, I think that's the other side of it, that that 11 that I've got on screen could be a 4-2-2-2. Very much could be with the interiors. It could change up like that in game. And I think that's one of the flexible things that I'd like to see from United, is that ilk of them being able to change in game with certain tweaks and certain moments. I think the side of, the fullbacks is going to be nice, a nice sort of debate over the next 6 months, who's best suited at fullback for them, which players kind of step up. I think as well, look, with Donny van der Beek in this position, this doesn't really suit Donny van der Beek. This is a defensive midfield role that has to be super aggressive. It has to win the ball back. I think Bruno's more suited for that role. Yeah. If it were to be like that, I think Bruno could provide some quality from the base. But you're losing physicality in defensive midfield. And I think that's the big thing with the Premier League, that there has to be some sort of physical element in that midfield area.
Yeah,
for it to truly work. I feel that's you've got to go with, maybe not in games against Arsenal. Maybe that's less of a concern because of the nature of Arsenal. They've got that creativity in number 10 versus that raw physicality. But I feel some teams will have target men that will drop off, or have powerful attacking midfielders that will play in that zone. But I think Ralph Rangnick, in terms of his setup, I kind of could see it as a McTominay, Fred double pivot, Rashford and Ronaldo up front, Sancho on the right. I think this very much could be an 11 that Ralph Rangnick picks, coming into the next few months of the season. But that question was from Alex Dataz on Instagram. Thanks for your questions, as always.
If McTominay was to leave Manchester United, what sort of club do you think he'd go to?
I don't think he should leave Manchester United. Why would you sell someone that's come through the academy that has that heart and desire in that, that position within the dressing room? Why would you sell someone like that? Throw it back to you. So, for example, if Jude Bellingham was 24 years old in midfield, and you had you had players that were better than Jude Bellingham, let's say, in central midfield by talent, but Jude Bellingham keeps working hard and keeps consistently putting in performances in big games and is still quite young, why would you get rid of him?
No, I'm just saying in terms of where do you think his quality level is at?
Well, that's that. I think he's a very good footballer, and that's
Top
my
6?
opinion.
Well, I'm not.
That's my opinion. Get that? I'm joking.
We're all big Scott fans
I'm
here.
not comparing him to Jude. I'm comparing him for Will to feel like somebody like Scott is plays for Birmingham City.
I just think it's going to be an interesting one just to see how much of an influence Ralph has in this game, if it's full, and then, sort of who that starting 11 is, and is Ronaldo going to be brought back in?
I think from a side of whether Ronaldo should play or not, I think one of the important things for Manchester United is dealing with Arsenal in possession. When we're looking at, what I mentioned deep, I think Fred has got a massive, massive job in this game of shutting down Thomas Partey, Bruno picking up Lokonga, Scott McTominay dropping inside to deal with Smith Rowe coming in, and obviously Nuno Tavares is going to provide that overlapping quality. So let's put the actual team selection back to what it should be. Or will be for United for tonight. Alex Tellers at fullback. I think the interesting side is how to stop Arsenal. I think when we look at Palace was a really good example of pressurising them in defensive midfield. They had 2 really big opportunities from winning the ball in those high areas and then breaking in behind. And I feel Fred on Partey is going to be massive. Thanks to Will. Let's give Will some GGs in the chat, guys. And Will, you got a video coming out very soon, haven't you?
Went round Dave's house. We chatted about Jude Bellingham, and I'll let the rest go from there.
Lovely, lovely stuff, guys. Go and check that out. Obviously, we'll give it a little retweet on the internet for you guys to find it as well. But much love. We'll see you all very, very soon. Back on Friday for the Premier League preview. But GG's in the chat. Thanks for all the new subs today. Elliot Hackney coming in with a 5-piece as well. Big shout out, guys. We will see you very, very soon.